Welcome to Shetland on Film, a curated collection of material from the 1950s and 60s. We've got a great selection of films to show you today, ranging from the everyday, such as sheep shearing or a walk along Commercial Street, to very special events like the Queen and Prince Philip visiting Shetland in 1960. The Shetland Film Archive is a volunteer-led community charity which aims to collect, protect and celebrate the moving image heritage of the islands. Preservation is very important to us because film and tape both degrade over time, therefore it's important to digitise this material so that future generations can benefit from these recordings of Shetland's history and culture. We're always very keen to get new people involved in the archive, whether that's through joining the committee, coming forward with moving image material for the collection, or helping us to catalogue some of the old films we've had digitised. If you're watching along today and you see a familiar face or would like to share some information about the films, please leave a comment on the post and we can then incorporate those notes into the contextual information we hold for each of the films. If you enjoyed today's event, please consider donating a couple of pounds towards the archive running costs through the donate button on the post or through our Facebook page. This helps us keep the archive going, but also build up the funds we need to digitise more vulnerable moving image heritage. There's also a link to an audience feedback survey in the post description. Taking 5 minutes through this will help us when we come to apply for funding for future events like this. Lastly, we'd like to thank Film Hub Scotland for supporting our event, those who came forward to record some introductions for the films, and of course the original donors who brought their family films to the archive and kindly agreed for them to be shared publicly today. So, from all of us at the Shetland Film Archive, we hope you enjoy Shetland on Film.
My name's Isabel Irvin, and my dad, Derek Irvin, and my uncle, John Irvin, took most of the film that follows. My family were all hail from Shetland. Derek and John were two of the four children of John Irvin and Annie Stout, who was the eldest daughter of the Medical Hall Stout family. John came south to train as a teacher. He ran football teams, that was his big passion, and he wrote biology by inquiry, which was the old school textbook in Scotland. He was always on the go and was always looking after his pupils when things like that maybe weren't as well done as they are these days. He was always taking pupils away on trips and things like that. And every summer he used to take parties of pupils from his school, which is Forster High School in Edinburgh, north to Shetland, just really to experience the outdoors. Most of these kids were from inner city areas and didn't really get holidays and didn't get out like that in the fresh air and the open air. So he used to take them north for 2 weeks. Some of the other teachers would go along with him to help out, and occasionally my dad, he'd left Shetland to go to sea when he was 15. But when he was on leave, he would help out Uncle John. And it seems that most of the filming in this particular film was done between 1959 and 1961. The bulk of it seems to have been done in 1960, which was just at the peak of all these school trips. My uncle died very suddenly 10 years later in 1970, age 45. So I was born in 62, so I don't really remember that much about this time, although I do remember my uncle very well. But I wasn't party to any of these trips. Really, it's mostly all the activities that they enjoyed during these trips, and the teachers, and they really enjoyed it as well. And I know that the kids absolutely loved it. I happened to run into one of the children who'd been on one of those trips many years later, who turned out to be a QC. And he was in tears as he was telling me about his memories of my uncle and these trips, and how he would have ended up on the other side of the bars, prison bars, had it not been for the interest and the care that my uncle and the other teachers had taken in all the kids at that time. Each year they stayed at Islesborough House, And there was a lady called Jessie Sinclair who used to come in to do the cooking and looking after them. They took part in regatta sports. They went round in boats. They got taken out in fishing boats. One of my cousins, I think, has seen down in Dundrosnes taking them out on a fishing boat. They went round to the Bachernos. They went on to Bressie. They went all over Shetland. And I believe that one of the Forrester pupils, Ian Manning, who may be on this film, I'm not entirely sure, he loved Shetland so much that he moved to live there when he was older. And it was certainly, when I discovered these films way at the back of a cupboard, gathering dust, I'd never seen them before. So for me, it was great to see what my uncle and my dad had been up to in the 60s, but also to sort of see Shetland before I was born, to see what it was like. And just a sort of lovely memory for me, and hopefully for lots of other people looking at it.
Passive stored in memory, which granted you. Standing at the shore, reclaim the wild shroud of greenery which covered you. Come and gone then and now, summer soft and broken. Come and gone there and now, summer soft and broken. Now you are no more than thoughts to mind, a hazy reckoning, an echo to the hell for all of those which followed you. Come and gone there and now, summer soft and broken. Come and gone there and now, summer soft and broken. Come and gone there and now, come and gone there and now, come and gone there and now, come and
So here we are at Sancerre Pier in Sandwich. Sandwich is in the south part of the Shetland mainland, roughly halfway between Lerwick, which is the main town, and Sunbury Airport, which is right down at the southern tip of the Shetland mainland. I'm going to get out of the car in a moment and show you around the pier where the next clips that we're going to see are based at the Sandwich Regatta, but I'm going to get out very quietly because there are actually 3 very large seals on the pier sunbathing and I don't want to disturb them.
And this is Sand Lodge, the Laird's house, and this is where the land sports for the regatta were held. So things like the tug of war and the obstacle race were all held here.
Regattas were an important part of community life, and they were generally held over a couple of days. So Friday would usually be reserved just for sailing events, and then Saturday would be more of an all-age event with land sports and novelty races and things, like the tub race that we will be seeing clips of shortly. Then on Saturday night it would be rounded off with some kind of prize giving or trophy giving, award giving event, perhaps with a dinner dance or a concert to round things off.
Regattas are still a big part of the Shetland social calendar today, and I hope you enjoy watching this footage from the 1960s.
washed away, washed away. Broken lies scattered to the wind, which all around us fall, knowing which words from whose mouth to believe. It's all the same, they're all the same. We could sit and wait for things to change, listening to these messed up games, until we become the change, until we become the change, until we become the change we want to see. The made up seems to be quite true, and it's hard telling what's wrong from what's right, carving my path and trying to find a way. It's all I can do, all I can do. We can sit and wait for things to change, listening to these messed up games, until we become the change, until we become the change, until we become the change. We can sit and wait for things to change, listening to these messed up games, until we become the change, until we become the change, until we become the change. We can sit and wait for things to change, listening to these messed up games, until we become the change, until we become the change, until we become the change, until we become the change.
Today fishing and aquaculture make up half the local economy, but Shetland's herring roots begin here on Lerwick's picturesque waterfront. From the 1600s, Dutch fishermen began arriving here in great numbers. Beginning in June, fishing buses would congregate here in Sound before commencing their summer fishery at Johnsmouth on 24th June. Many hundreds of boats would meet here and they'd come ashore to take on fresh water and provisions, and they would trade with the local people. At the time there were no houses here, and Sound was simply a nice place for boats to come and use the harbour and rest before the fishing began. But very quickly the town began to grow in response to the Dutch fishermen, and by the 1830s Lerwick was the main town in Shetland, overtaking Scalwa as the island's capital. The herring industry has always been really important to the town, and the waterfront that we see here today grew as a direct result of the arrival of these Dutch fishermen. Locals traded fresh goods and knitwear with them, and in return received gin, tobacco, brandy and other luxury items. It was a time where lots of smuggling was known to have taken place, and many of the underground tunnels under the street are testament to this. Descriptions of both the herring boom of the 17th century and the early 20th century tell us that there were so many boats packed into the harbour that you could step from boat to boat all the way to Bressa. Okay, so we're now in the historic Haystock area of Larrick, and the Dutch fishing saw many boats in and around Shetland, but that didn't necessarily translate into jobs on shore, as many of the fish, or all of the fish that were caught by the Dutch fishermen was processed on board on their buses and shipped to overseas markets. So it wasn't until the late 19th and early 20th century that the herring boomed again, and this time it was a real home-based fishery that brought lots and lots of prosperity and jobs to the islands, leading to another growth and expansion of Larrick. So from the 1880s, Shetland's herring industry flourished, and by 1905, the biggest year, an astonishing 1 million barrels, that's 113,000 tonnes of herring, was cured and exported from Shetland by around 1,700 boats employing about 20,000 men. Herring was now big business, and it was landed and processed here in Shetland for the first time, leading to a rise in curing stations and coopering yards throughout the Isles, all the way from Baltasound in Unst to here in Larrick. Here at Mayor's Pier we see Shetland's herring industry today, where many of our pelagic boats tie up. The pelagic boats fish for herring and mackerel, and it's big business here in Shetland today. We have a fish processing plant that deals with their catches, and it's shipped all over the world. So today herring is very much alive still in Shetland. I hope you enjoy this special look at Shetland's herring past, brought to you by the Shetland Film Archive.
but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. No, I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. With you. What a wicked game you played to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say. You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. And I We are miners, hard rock miners. To the shaft house we must go. Pour your bottles on your shoulders. We are marching to the slope. We are miners, hard rock miners. To the shaft house we must go. Pour your bottles on your shoulders. We are marching to the slope. On the line, boys, on the line, boys. Grab your picks and stand in line till the shift boss comes to tell you you must drill her out on top. On the line, boys, on the line, boys. Grab your picks and stand in line till the shift boss comes to tell you you must drill her out on top. Can't you feel the rock dust in your lungs? It'll cut down a miner when he is still young. 2 years and the silicosis takes hold, and I feel like I'm dying from mining for gold. Yes, I feel like I'm dying from mining for gold. Yes, I feel like I'm dying from mining.